gonna be a good day.
Hello, St. Rose, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of St. Rose Rocks, music for the Golden Knights by the Golden Knights. God, I miss saying that. We are back for a limited run to get you guys through the end of the semester into winter break, showing you guys some fantastic artists of today and of years past. So let's just get right to it. We have phenomenal singer-songwriter Kayla Carpenter with us today. Kayla, how you doing?
I am doing so good. Thank you so much for having me, Connor.
It's a blessing to have you. Honestly, always been a fan of your stuff throughout the years. We've had you in the Battle of the Bands competitions with SA. We've seen you perform many times on campus, and this is your senior year now, right?
Yes, it sure is.
Exciting. Interesting year, of course, to be having it, but exciting nonetheless.
Yes, it definitely is exciting.
Very, very cool. So, Kayla, can you tell us about the first song you're going to be showing us today?
Yes, okay, so this song is called Simple. I wrote it about, I wrote my sophomore year, actually, with Dr. Pink. Shout out Dr. Pink. The song is basically about you love someone, but this person is not making up their mind. You know, things can literally just be simple. But, you know, sometimes you're the only one with your mind made up. So, yeah, that's just what this song was about. Yeah.
I love it. All right, for everybody to listen to, this is Simple by Kayla Carpenter.
Thought you'd be my everything, but you just got me hooked on the string. You could have had me, but you decided other things. You can't change your mind now. Got me craving for your embrace, but they say good things come for ones who wait. I'm begging, baby, please stop overcomplicating and tell me why can't we be simple? Why can't we call it me and you? Why can't we be simple? Why? Thought you'd be all I'm dreaming of, but you got me feeling allergic to love. Oh, but I dream of kissing you, just like people that love do. That could have been us, but you had to be extra. Oh, why can't we be simple? Why can't we call it me and you? Why can't we be simple? Why? Just won't buy, don't you wanna be my love? Yeah, my heart, it burns so bright, but your heart, it just won't buy. Don't you wanna be my love, my love? Why can't we
I just want to ask, where did that spark to sing and be a musician come from? What got you into music?
I come from a very musical family. My mother is a singer. I like to say she has like a day and night job. Like by day, she works for a not-for-profit. By night, she's a gospel singer. She sings background for a bunch of different artists, most notably Donnie McClurkin, who is a huge gospel artist.
That's so
My
cool.
father is a songwriter. So I get most of my, talents and things from them. I just grew up singing. I want to say I started around like the age of 3, like in like choir and in church and different things like that. When I grew up, I kind of steered away from music. I didn't really think it was going to be my thing. I wanted to be a doctor. I was like, I'm going to help people. And I was like, yeah, I'll be a detective. I just had so many different plans. But then in the 7th grade, I had, the song Price Tag by Jessie J?
Oh, yeah.
So I had rewrote the song to be about anti-bullying. And so my teacher saw it and was like, this is fire. This is great. Like, we're going to use this. And I was like, you're going to use it? Really? Like, I was so excited. That moment, I was like, can I do this, like, for a living? From that moment on, it really started to pick up for me. And ever since then, it's just been music on my mind, on my life. So, yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I find that awesome that you have that, music-centric family that's kind of grown with you through it all, and that's a great background to have. And what you're saying about being a doctor or detective and you want to help people, I think you've learned very much through music. It can be very therapeutic and can help people on so many different ways.
Most definitely.
Yeah. How do you feel personally about how you connect with others through music and how you connect yourself through other people's music?
I feel like that is one of my biggest goals in my music. I always want the songs that I sing, whether it be a cover or whether it be one of my songs, I want it to always have a relatability factor or a factor where people can be like, I feel that, I get that, I understand where you're coming from, Like, I want my voice and I want my music to be a healing thing for other people. If you need a song to cheer you up, like, here's this. If you need a song if you're just sad and you want to be sad right now, here's a song for that. If you're excited and you want to be excited, you don't know who to share it with some music. Share it with my music if you want to, That is one of my biggest goals is to help people throughout whatever they're going through with my music. If you want to listen, you can listen. Hopefully, you feel better or you just feel better about yourself, things like that. Yeah.
Very cool. So you mentioned before that your parents are very much into music, gospel, soul, church, things along those lines. So obviously that must be a big influence on you, but could you tell us about your inspirations and influences on your music?
So I would say my inspirations really stem from like R&B and stem from like soul and neo soul. Some of my favorite artists are Jasmine Sullivan. I really love Leon LaHavis, Alex Isley. There's a bunch of different artists like Layla Hathaway, Chrisette Michele that I really listen to. They're all like soulful artists. Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Donny Hathaway, like
Oh, we
all
got
of
some
those artists
classics.
that, I love listening to, the classics and bringing it back to the present. I feel like my music taste is kind of all over the place. Not only do I enjoy soul, but also sometimes will enjoy like Japanese rock, or I'll listen to like K-pop, or I'll listen to classical, or I'll listen to like neo soul or whatever. I don't really think I don't think it stems from a specific place. I feel like I kind of take influence from everything, whether it be like if I hear something in a song, I'll be like, wait, that was great, and I'll like make a mental note and be like, okay, I'm gonna use that somehow. Like something like that. So yeah, I definitely feel like I pull inspiration from like all walks of life, or all genres of music.
I just want to point out, I love the energy that you're giving right now. So good. So that's awesome that you have so many inspirations and influences from all over the place. Would you say that's broadened even more going to music school?
As I kind of like gain more friends and gain more knowledge from other people, I started listening to like K-pop and like rock music and like dubstep and all that stuff, like EDM and things like that. When I got to high school, I guess I got a little more into like rap and like things like that. And when I got here, I would definitely say it was a lot more broadened. because I got into more classical and I got into more, like prog rock, and I got into, indie and alternative because of like people I met here and the things that people sing here. So yeah, I would definitely say it's a mixture of both, considering, I've gotten stuff from other people, and then here it's like, oh wow, this is a whole new world. So yeah.
It's a whole melting pot, and it's really inspiring and encouraging to see. So that's cool that you got all of that out of it.
Yes.
So here we are, March of 2020. That's when things like really shut down when it came to school. It was March 11th specifically that we got the notice that things were, we were going home. It was going to be remote for 2 weeks, but we all kind of knew that was going to be the
It was getting there.
Oh, it was getting there. And that moment has defined the year for so many people. What was that like for you in the beginning? That overall feeling of, oh my gosh, what is going on? Plus just trying to adapt to going back home, trying to adapt to school and try to live a summer like this. What was that like for you?
Last year was definitely, I would say, one of the hardest years for me. I feel like there was a lot of things like that I was being asked of that I felt like I couldn't do, or I just had so much on my plate that it was so hard for me to do, but I just wanted to say yes to everyone. So it was just like, I have to do it all, So when last semester came, I was overwhelmed. Even though like I still went out, I still, was doing things for other people. Like my voice was probably at the worst it's ever been. I was just in a really just kind of a dark place because I wanted to do everything and I wanted to make everybody happy, but it was to the point where I wasn't doing anything for myself to make myself happy. When everything shut down, I feel like I was one of the only people that was like, yes! Like, I was so excited. Like, my entire March was booked from before that point. So I was like, okay, this is a lot, but I can do it. I'll be fine, whatever. So when everything was, we had to go home, I was just like, this is going to be great. Like, obviously I was upset because, like, missing out on my friends and, like, not being able to see all the people that I love and all that good stuff. I got to be home with my family. I got to go home. I got to see them. So I hadn't seen them for a little bit. But when I got home, I realized how, I guess, lonely it was going to be. Because, like, obviously I had my family. Obviously I had my, all the people around me. Like, I have, like, family that lives across the street from me, so I could still see them a little bit. But when it's just yourself in a room, it's a lot, and it's kind of scary. And with COVID, my father ended up getting it. Like, he was like in a really bad shape, and it scared me because I was like, oh my gosh, like, hopefully, he was fine, but
thank God.
Yeah, right. So after my dad got it, my mom had got it, and from that, I got it. It was, so luckily I was like more asymptomatic than they were, but usually my house is like it's bustling, it's like everyone's happy, everyone's like energy is like, it's like, yeah. So when everyone got COVID in my house, everything was silent. And like, that really scared me because it was just like, this has never been a thing. I have never seen this from, my family or anything like that. So luckily, like for me, since I was asymptomatic, I could do things for my parents. I could, help them out. It was a scary time. I really had to sit down and take a look at myself. I really had to breathe and be like, okay, there's a lot of stuff that I need to unlearn. There's a lot of things that I need to do to make myself better for myself and for just the people around me. I spent a lot of time trying to have like self-care for myself, like really care for myself. Like there were times where I literally just shut down my phone. I spent time in the Word. I spent time with God. I prayed late. I slept a lot. I rested my voice. Like I was literally like just in a point of rest because I was like, I need to recharge. I need to be refilled. I need to rehabilitate myself because if I don't, then I'll be burnt out for the rest of my life, and I don't want that. I don't want to ever get in that position where I feel like I'm just burnt out to the point where I just can't do anything. in school, that's where I almost was. And I never wanted to see myself there. So I really took the time. Like, I talked to my friends, my parents when they were like chilling and everything. I talked to my cousins about it, and I really felt like I found. Luckily, like, I was in one of the positions that I found a better mindset throughout all this, because I know, like, for a bunch of different people, like, they weren't a lot of that chance, and I will never take that for granted. Like, I was fortunate enough to have a home and have like a bed and have the time to do what I have to do, you know what I'm saying? I really took the time to prepare myself for, time coming up, and like having to come back to school and, having to start up my life again, because everything really was just shut down. I am so thankful that I took that time, because if I didn't, I would have been a whole different person. So I'm so thankful to God just for keeping me in this situation. And just, sometimes when you're by yourself, that's the most change that you're going to make with yourself. Now I'm in the position where I feel like I can do so much more, because I have the energy and I have, all that good stuff to do, just to do more. So yeah, luckily I'm a lot better now. And yeah, so it was a ride. It was a very interesting journey, and luckily we came out on the other side. So yeah.
God bless. I had no idea that you and your family were going through that. So I'm happy to hear that everybody's doing well. I'm happy to hear that you are doing well. With all that you've learned from this time period, what are things that you are doing now this semester that you feel you're doing differently compared to the past?
Like, one of the biggest things is I used to be really bad at like thinking before I said things, or like, I would just always do and never like be like, okay, Kayla, this is not that smart. We should probably not do that. So I feel like like now I take a break before I make like decisions, and I'm like, okay, let's really think about this for a second, like, before you do that. Another thing is, I feel like now I'm holding myself a lot more accountable for a lot of different things. If someone tells me like, hey, this is something that you should be doing, I'll be like, oh, you're right, if they are correct. Like, I will take that time to really set aside and be like, okay, let me do this so I can be better for myself and for other people. I think the most I got out of this was mindfulness and being aware of the people around me and the situations around me. I think I've become a lot more like sensitive towards people, the things that they go through, because this really showed me like, people are going through it. A lot of good things, like, for me, has come out, like, with music and like writing about these situations. Once again, like, coming out with stuff that hopefully help people heal and like help people have that moment of breath of just like, okay, you know what, everything is going to be okay. So yeah, just mainly like mindfulness and just being aware of different things within myself and just with other people.
Amen. No, mindfulness. I think this is the year of mindfulness for a lot of people. It's given us the chance to sit down and be, as you said, aware of everything going on and aware of ourselves. But besides being the year for mindfulness, it's also been the year for empathy. And because, we're all going through something traumatic all at the same time, and we can all relate and be on the same level. And I think that kind of has really opened our eyes to how we treat ourselves and how we treat others and how we have that dynamic. Right. And based on everything that you just said, I think you've really learned great lessons out of it and really coming out of this year on top, regardless of how much of hell it's been. I think you're coming out of it very strong and with a phenomenal mindset and heart. That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. So, Kayla, could you tell us a little bit about the second song you'll be showing us today?
Yes. Okay. So the second song is called Growing. This is my first single. It is released everywhere. This song is one of my happier songs. It is basically about the love that you share with someone. It could be a love with your friends. It could be a love to your family. It could be a love relationship-wise. It could be a love to God. It could be a love to your pets. It could be a love to anyone, It is just basically talking about the timeline of love and how a person continues to grow on your heart, and how any person or anything continues to grow on your heart. And yeah, I just hope this song helps a lot of people just show love and spread love and just be better and kind people. And yeah, this is growing, y'all. I hope you love it.
I think we all will. So, guys, the second song on this program is Growing by Kayla Carpenter. Enjoy.
You were on my mind this morning. You were on my mind this morning. Wish that you came with a warning. Oh, when all was lost, I heard you calling. When all was lost, I heard you calling. You helped me see what I was missing, and it was you. 'Cause my love for you keeps on going. My love for you keeps on growing. Oh. Now I know that it was worth it. Now I know that it was worth it. There's no need for searching anymore. The way you love me is a blessing. The way you love me is a blessing. 'Cause you're all I've waited for. Oh, 'cause my love for you, it keeps me going.
Kayla, this has been an awesome interview. I am so glad to have been able to have you on. Before we wrap up, as we said, this is your senior year.
Yes.
That means there's going to be a senior project at the end of this year. You're going to be doing it in the spring, correct?
I sure am.
So what can people expect out of that senior project when it comes time?
The number one question that people ask me whenever they get to know me is, how do you think like that? Why? What is on your mind? How does this even work? So my album is basically going to be that, just that. Things that go on through my mind, different ideas that, I think about, just different things that just are on my heart and are on my mind and just in my soul. That's a hint. Haha. There's going to be a bunch of different people on the album. My family is going to make an appearance on the album. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, I just hope that everyone is as excited as I am because it's going to be an amazing time. So yeah, check it out.
I'm very excited. Oh, I'm very excited. I'm going to be keeping my eyes and ears out for it by the end of the next semester. I hope that the process goes really well for you. As somebody who did it last year, I know that it's a really beautiful and transformative period, and I hope you enjoy every second of it.
I am very excited.
Very, very cool. Again, Kayla, thank you very much for coming on. Where can people find your music or follow you online? Any of that?
Okay, so on Instagram, you will find me at thatsongbird._. On Facebook, I am just Kayla Carpenter. You can find all my music under Kayla Carpenter. I only have one single out, but yeah, I will have more in the future. Check me out. I hope you enjoy what you hear.
Very cool. Blast that single on repeat. Get as much Kayla Carpenter as you can until the senior project is out and ready. Otherwise, you can always keep tuning into this episode and just hearing how wonderful she is and all of her music and all of her background. That is fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of St. Rose Rocks. As always, I got to thank Student Development, Student Association, the St. Rose Marketing Team, and the college as a whole. They are the ones that make this all possible, along with you guys. You guys help bring this back for much more music and much more positivity, and it's greatly appreciated. If you enjoyed this, you'll probably also enjoy one of my other endeavors, Walsh Wednesday, the Reflective Series, a podcast for music and motivation where I strive to have conversations of unity and understanding while it being a platform for artists of all kinds, businesses, charities, you name it. I think it's a great place, so if you like what you're hearing here, you'll get similar energy over there. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Connor Walsh. You guys are the reason why St. Rose rocks. I'm glad we get to spend some time.